Time for On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. I'm telling you, it's a great show here. We got a lot of things to talk about this week. And our stars of the show, the fearless quarterback, known for leading our Los Angeles Rams to Super Bowl 79. He's got that cannon arm, and he also throws a good football. Alongside him, we got Hall of Fame right tackle, 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time NFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, known as the Energizer Bunny, and he wrote this intro for himself. He just keeps going and going. We're talking about Jackie Slater. Welcome, Vince. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you very much, my friend. And might I share something with you? It was Super Bowl 14 that Vince was our quarterback in.
But what did he say?
He said Super Bowl 79.
Well, he's coming
back.
back.
I got a funny feeling that he's at home in his pajamas.
We haven't had 79 Super Bowls yet.
I think he's at home with in his pajamas, sipping on something he shouldn't be drinking this time of day.
No, he's still celebrating from the 4th of July, I think.
Yeah, you got a 4th of July hangover going here.
We had a good time, though, didn't we, Jackie? We had a good 4th of July. Jackie had you over and had your family over. Matthew was visiting.
We went to the parade. You were driving in the parade.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing balloons out and everything, candy coming from everywhere.
Man,
the people down in Orange Park Acres in Orange, California, there's some fantastic folks, and they really enjoy the holidays, Vance. And the kids are all involved. My grandkids got involved in all the activities. We've been there before, but what a wonderful celebration of our country and all that it stands for, and certainly to see it, in that particular community. It was a fantastic thing.
And you talked about your grandkids, Noah and Jeremiah and Micah.
They had a blast. They had a fantastic
But wasn't one
time.
of them wrecking havoc there in the
yes,
house? What
it was
happened?
the 5-year-old. I mean,
Noah.
First of all, I didn't know I had to, have a membership at my modem.
Oh, yes.
My computer modem. So what happened was all of the internet went out at my house, and we couldn't figure out what it was, and we had a surge of some sort. And so I found out that all the wires had been dislocated and everything. And then I woke up like one morning 2 days later, and I heard the sound. And I walk in the room, and the 5-year-old has got both fingers going all over trying to figure out how to work the doggone printer. I said, you are the one that did it.
He's the culprit.
You were the guy that did it this time.
Well, I'm glad you got it straightened out because we got internet access now.
Yes, we do.
And the kids are back in Boston, so everything's back to normal.
Kind of back to normal.
Yeah.
Check out our website, onpointlive.net. Check us out on Instagram, on.point.live. Our sponsor is harmonycheese.com. Jerry Haynes is going to be here today. And email us, onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com. We'll be back with Vince and Jackie on Point Live. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, along with the stars of our show, guy from Super Bowl 14, Vince Ferragamo. He's going to be in Super Bowl 79 coming up. And we got Jackie Slater here, one of the great players of all time. And by the way, gentlemen, I was looking through our mail stack here. Our producer, Corey Marino, and myself, did you get your invitation at Al Corey for the 4th of July bash, apparently, that Vince and Jackie went to?
I did not.
I don't see it. What happened, Vince? What happened, Jackie?
How many papers were you ruffling up there, my man?
Yeah, I told you needed to send that invitation out a week earlier.
Yeah, well, they didn't.
A week earlier. I mean, it's going to get there late. They'll get it probably next week.
Right. It's short notice,
Yeah, short notice.
All best things happen just like on the spur of the moment.
They'll get it next week.
Yeah. We're looking for an invitation, though, to the Rams training camp. They report on the 22nd. First workout going to be on the 24th. What are we looking for this year? New faces, new roles, some leadership. Start with you, Vince Ferragamo. What are you looking forward to seeing at the Rams training camp?
Well, certainly the new acquisitions make a lot of sense, and that's intriguing because we want to see how Davante Adams is going to be integrated into this offensive scheme. And I think, a lot of people talk about his age, Jackie, being 11th year in the league, but, that's still at a receiver's prime. And as good as Davante Adams is outside, I mean, that's one of the key missing elements of the team last year. And I think Matt Stafford is pleased to have him aboard this offense, and so is Sean McVay. I think they're going to be very creative. They were very instrumental in showing a lot of highlight film from Davante Adams to the younger personnel they had there, Jackie, which is going to have a big effect on this team.
Absolutely, and that's one of the strengths of Sean McVay as a head coach. this guy, he realizes, that Cooper Kupp was an integral part of what they've been doing there for a number of years now. Cooper Kupp was the first guy there, last guy to leave. He's coaching on the field, on the practice field. He's bringing people up to speed, telling them what they're going to do and what they need to do. I mean, he's going to be missed. The other thing now, Cooper Kupp did an outstanding job of was blocking in the running game, and McVay likes to run the ball, as he's proven by putting together a nice little group of running backs here. So one of the things that I'm expecting to see with this new wide receiver that they brought in, I'm expecting to see them throw the ball a little bit deeper down the middle of the field as they use Devontae in that particular area. But the other things, man, it's just hard for me to imagine that they could get that much better by adding Devontae and taking away Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, was a critical piece that kept that team afloat during the flat times and that elevated them during a very special time. I think he's going to be missed.
Okay, hold on a second. So you got new faces there, Davante Adams. You got veteran leadership with Matthew Stafford. But, Jackie, you think that they're going to be missing Cooper Kupp? Vince Ferragamo, your thoughts?
Well, I was just going to agree with Jackie there because I think he's a very difficult person to replace simply because he's like a coach on the field, Michael. He's very instrumental in giving the little inspiration that some of these receivers need and some of their route running and how they, come back from defeat and how they struggle through the life seasons of playing football and the rigors of the National Football League. So he was an intricate part of this whole offensive scheme. Right. And now, but Puka Nacua is a possession type receiver.
Yes.
He's kind of the same mold. But not quite as elusive as
not
far
the leader.
as he's not
he's
quite
the
the
leader,
guy that's going to
Vince.
step up.
We can't. Puka Nacua has been special. There's no doubt about it. But I think a lot of his success came from him learning from Cooper Kupp how to run the routes, what the quarter. And see, that's another thing. Matthew Stafford is an excellent quarterback, and I think you and I both agree on that. But Matthew Stafford needs to have that piece beyond the head coach to help him bridge the gaps with his thought processes and the receivers that are on the football field. Now, Devontae is going to come in, and he's going to do things a little bit quicker. I like the way McVay, some time ago when he first got there, he took some examples of Devontae's route running, and he put it up and he showed it to a lot of the guys that were already in the room for the last few years. He wanted them to see that this is a guy, too, that we can also trust, that can also get it done, that also understands the intricate details associated with running routes and beating coverages. Now, that was critical. But now the other part that remains to be seen that we're going to have to watch for is how well does Devontae verbalize and lead a group of young wide receivers and an offense and work and bridge the gap between that quarterback. That's critical, in my opinion, as I have seen it over the years.
Well, all right, Vince, Davante Adams, does he have something left in the tank? He didn't light up the Raiders. He didn't light up the Jets. Of course, no one did. So is he going to light up the Rams?
Well, I think he would in this kind of system, Michael, because there will be a specific criteria and specific game plan that will involve Davante Adams, and that will be very illicit when it comes time to make plays. And he will step up when he's called upon. And I think the thing that Cooper Kupp brought to the team was that his ability to fight through any adversity that you would have on your team, and he would show up in a big way and in a big time.
Did it for years.
And so, and I think that's something that is difficult to replace. But I think Sean McVay has a different plan of attack. I think he's going to go to 3 tight end kind of formations. He's built his team around some tight ends now. He's got a new running back, Jaquez Hunter from Auburn, who can squat 650 pounds. He's a big, strong guy. He's going to be a good complement to Kareem Williams.
An explosive back.
Right, and Blake Corum. I mean, they'll have a tandem of running backs that will be very good. The question mark to me, Jackie, is Alaric Jackson. Because with his blood clots, and he's going to probably be out for this whole entire year. They got DJ Humphries. Explain how that's going to affect this offensive line.
The one thing that you have to have in addition to all of these great receivers and running backs and quarterbacks, and we can talk about them all day long, but if you don't have a blind side protector, a blind side, weak side run blocker that can get it done over there against those guys on that right side that are coming off the dominant side of their body, closing to the pocket, then you're going to be forfeiting a lot of games, Vince. And so what the Rams have had to deal with, first of all, they dodged a bullet that Alaric Jackson didn't sign with someone else. And they gave him a contract that was comparable to his value to this team. Right. Now they found out that he has blood clots. Now, blood clots is nothing to say, okay, well, put him on a blood thinner and let's give him a couple of weeks. No, that's not the way that works out. If you've got blood clots, you're talking about the possibility of one of those blood clots dislodging itself, going to your brain, going to some other vital organ, and you being no longer with us. That's the seriousness of having blood clots. So what they did was they went out and purchased some good insurance by bringing in DJ Humphries. Now, DJ Humphries a couple of years ago tore his ACL, and he was hampered by that. And then he came on last year. He was with Kansas City, and after he practiced with them for a couple of weeks, and they were struggling at that position, Andy Reid said, well, we're going to put him in.
He didn't play in the Super Bowl, did he?
No. But he was a guy that they invested in because he was a first-round pick that had started 100 games in the National Football League at left tackle. So you're going to invest in a guy like that, which is exactly what the Rams are doing. They have a guy now that if he's healthy, he may start the season, depending on how Alaric Jackson recovers, and certainly if Alaric comes back, he's going to be a quality backup for him. And they got him on the cheap. They got him on the cheap as well.
Guys, here's what I'm seeing now. This is kind of an important training camp. As a guy, Vince Ferragamo, who had a battle for positions when you were first starting up with the Rams, will there be position battles here? Is there going to be a lot of, is this guy going to go, this guy going to go? What's going to happen here in training camp?
Well, yeah, I think there's, especially at the offensive line, Michael, I think there's going to be a struggle to see who the starting five are going to be because they have to play as a unit up front. And that's going to take a lot of, deciphering and evaluating these players and how well they work as a group because that's the key. But, the strength of this team, we'll talk about it more coming up here, is their defense. And they're so young on defense. I think they got perhaps a really good linebacker in this Nate Landman.
Oh, yeah.
And then they also picked up Emmanuel Forbes. We'll see how they fit into this defense. But this is a young, energetic defense that kept the Rams in many of the games last year.
And they like to think that that's the backbone of their team right
now. It is right now.
It's only a rumor, but I've heard it expressed at Rams training camp. They're going to be serving HarmonyCheese.com, and that'll bring the guys together.
They better have some blueberry, I guarantee you that.
So check out our sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com, and email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Again, onpoint@crntalk.com. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Check it all out here at On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. We'll be back. Welcome back to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn with the stars of our show, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo. We're talking about Rams training camp, and before we leave that, let's go to each of our gentlemen here. Start with you, Jackie Slater. Who do you think is going to give the Rams some problems this year? Maybe in their own division, maybe in the league. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously they're going to have some problems when you look at the league in the NFC. You're going to have some problems with Philadelphia, and then I think Washington is going to be a team that have a really good young quarterback and a great coaching staff, in my opinion. And then I also, don't forget about Minnesota and don't forget about Seattle with what they're going to be doing up there. The 49ers are going to be, I think the 49ers now, they've got a great group of leaders over there in Shanahan, John Lynch, the general manager, and they just brought in Salah, who was a former head coach, and the former defensive coordinator with the 49ers. So that group is back together. I look for them the three of those guys to make that football team a whole lot better. I think the Rams are going to be formidable, but they're going to have some competition, and it's about time that we see a real competitive NFC West.
Vince, go ahead.
I kind of agree with some of that, Jackie. I think the 49ers will resurrect a little bit. I think with Robert Saleh, he'll add that's what a missing piece was last year in that team was their defense, and they will be upstarted again this year. I think there'll be some other teams that will be rejuvenated. I like the Chicago Bears. I think Ben Johnson, who's coming from Detroit, was a great offensive coordinator. I think he's going to add a lot to that team. I just don't think Detroit offensively will be as sound as they were last year with John Morton. I don't see that in that offense scheme, but I still think they'll be okay. I think the Commanders, again, Jackie, are going to be very good, and Philadelphia Eagles are the top team. They have the best personnel. The Rams are going to be tough in the West. I think the NFC West, I think the 49ers may challenge a little bit, but I think Seattle has more to gain as an upstart team with a new quarterback and, Cooper Kupp being over there, knowing the Rams. I think they're going to give the Rams a little bit of a run for their money. But I think it's going to be very competitive.
For sure that every guy in the Rams secondary, whatever his weaknesses may be, they're going to find out about it wherever Cooper Kupp is. When Cooper Kupp gets done informing them about the strengths and weaknesses.
He's impossible to cover.
He's unbelievable.
We already told you about that.
Just absolutely unbelievable.
He has the ability to go inside or outside from inside the field. And you brought up a great point. He can block a little bit. So they will get their running game going, too, up in Seattle, knowing what their direction is going. So it's going to be very, very exciting this coming year, Michael. But we'll see a lot what's happening and get a lot of information from these training camps that are starting soon.
Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. I see, gentlemen, something different. I think the Rams may be having problems this year with the referees. Then again, it's the Rams. I've seen some of the calls. Maybe they don't have problems with the referees. Here's what happened. The NFL made a move. The league fired, listen to this, 3 referees for performance-related issues as part of a push for higher officiating standards per the NFL's VP of officiating, Ramon George. Now, the referees fired, James Carter fired, Robin De Lorenzo, Robert Richardson. Apparently, there were examples of 3 controversial calls that were made. And Vince, let's start with you. September 15th against the Bengals. Tell us about this one, a questionable pass interference call.
Oh, okay. Those 3 calls were all against the opposing teams against the Chiefs. And somewhere along the line, one of these anonymous referees are saying how favoritism is being displayed with some of these referees. That's not the question here, because all those plays and all those calls were legit. They were legitimate calls.
So wait, questionable pass interference call gave KC field position in a
It was not questionable. There's nothing questionable at any of these calls. And these guys were fired for no reason at all, because that was a legitimate. When you're a receiver and the ball's in the air, you cannot be hit from behind by a defender.
You can't.
The ball, it's an interference. The other play where it was an
Raiders, November 29th.
A premature snap. That was not a premature snap. Nobody moved. The ball was snapped. O'Connell was back in the backfield, wasn't looking for the ball, hit him, and the Chiefs recovered. That's a fumble recovery.
December 21st against the Texans, a forced fumble on Patrick Mahomes reversed to an incomplete pass.
Okay, DeMeco Ryans has a great defense over there with the Texans, okay? But Patrick Mahomes was in the pocket. He was moving up in the pocket. His arm was moving forward. Not 1 inch, 2 inch. It was moving about a foot to a foot and a half forward. The ball came out of his hand, and they recovered. They said, it was a fumble. That's an incomplete forward pass.
Jackie Slater.
Every day of the NFL season.
Hey, I can see favoritism, but those weren't favorite calls. There's another team I know that there's calls going against.
Okay, now listen.
Jackie.
This is what concerns me.
Okay,
this is
an
what
anonymous official.
Just a wee bit.
What?
When I hear an anonymous official, an anonymous NFL official, state that the NFL is shifting away from favoritism to a performance-only culture, now I have to wonder a little bit about that. Wait a minute. Are we shifting away from the wrong?
So there was favoritism.
I mean, why would he say that? Why would you be shifting away from favoritism? Why should there ever be any favoritism? I maintain that this is a disgruntled former employee that's just wanting to shake things up, because when you make a statement like that, you make the people feel like this game has been rigged for a number of years, and all of a sudden they want to change it. Vince and I were talking last night. We looked at every single one of those calls, and on the drive-in this morning, we concluded that the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the best coached, best-mannered football teams in the National Football League because every single one of those opportunities, they earned them.
Their least
They
penalized
earned every
game,
opportunity
Jackie.
that came up.
It just what happens is you call the game the way you see it. And those games, those plays were all legitimate. They were coached that way, and that's the way you play the game. When you do something illegal and you penalize a team for no reason at all, just so another team can take advantage, that's favoritism. I know there's other teams that like that are out there. I'm not going to mention which team it is, but they've gone on and did really well with some of these calls. So, hey, come on. Let's be real here.
So wait a minute. Let me make sure
I
understand what you just said.
Right.
You said that you know that there are some teams that you perceive, based on the
Getting calls,
are being favored.
Okay.
Being favored. Is that what you're saying?
Well, sure.
Okay. Well, now
I won't be the only one to tell you that.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that I understand that you are in agreement with this official who said that they're moving away from favoritism.
Well, so that means favoritism was part of the game.
That means favoritism was
I wonder who's paying off these
definitely
referees.
a part of what's been going on.
Gentlemen,
I'd like to think that it wasn't the case when we were playing, but who knows?
This was an anonymous official. He's anonymous, stating the NFL, Jackie, as you mentioned, is shifting away from favoritism, meaning there is favoritism there because they're shifting away from it to a performance-only culture. What the hell is that saying?
First of all,
there's a problem.
First of all, I can't understand why the National Football League would hire a person who would make a statement like that. To me, to make a statement like that is cutting your own throat. You're in the business of calling and officiating NFL games, and you're going to make a statement like that indicating that your work is not fair, not above board. I don't believe that personally.
Well,
I know you do. I know you do.
Some
but
people
I don't believe that.
I don't believe the guy. Well, he's anonymous. He didn't step forward to tell you who he is. But when you look back, maybe there's some truth to what he is saying. There is some truth to that.
Well, I don't know.
Why would he say that?
Why would he say it?
Why would he come out and say that?
I would like to think that the men that I know that are running the National Football League are legitimate guys who are honest, who are fair, and they would have it no other way. That's what I personally choose to believe, and I'm inclined to believe that whoever this person is a disgruntled former employee that probably lost his job for making a bunch of bad calls.
Let's bring one of these officials on.
We'll
Here's the thing about football. The refs seem to be, you don't know their names. You don't talk about it. In baseball, we get their names. So let's look at baseball a second since you want to talk about officiating. Have you watched Major League Baseball where in every game there's 20 calls that are missed behind home plate? They got that little rectangle at the home plate where you can watch the pitches go in there. The other night, the Dodgers had Yamamoto pitching almost an immaculate inning. 3 pitches, strikeout number 1. 3 pitches, strikeout number 2. 2 pitches, it's an 0-2 count. Third pitch comes down in the center of the strike zone in the middle. You saw it, Jackie. You saw it, Vince, and they called it a ball. Now, that's a problem in officiating.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Well, even Ohtani. You saw Ohtani step away from the plate after being called on the third strike.
How many times have you seen Ohtani argue with the call?
He never complained. Even when he gets hit by a pitched ball, Jackie, he has
just
class.
Throw his hand up, back away. But he was visibly shaken, visibly upset with that call. And you're looking at it. That ball was low and way inside, and there's no doubt about it. It come nowhere near the corners of the plate.
Sometimes it's the interpretation of a referee. Maybe he blinks or something.
Maybe.
He can't see the ball.
He needs glasses.
I mean,
but the only problem, and then he'll look to the guy out at first base or shortstop or wherever, the guy out there, and wait for him to signal.
Oh, yeah.
And he certainly can't see it.
He's got a better look, So let me ask you, you're managing a baseball team, both of you guys. Yeah. Do you get out of the dugout and run over there and say, what the hell's wrong with you behind home plate? Can I check your eyes?
You got to be like Tommy Lasorda.
I think the fans expect it.
And walk out there, and then
what would Tommy do, Vince? What would Tommy do?
Tommy would go there and give him a mouthload.
Yeah.
I mean, he would just confront the referee and tell him what's going on, why he's interpreting it the wrong way. Yeah. Billy Martin would do the same way, just kick dirt on his foot. Right. I mean, come on. Let's get this thing straightened out.
Get it straightened out right now.
Let's get an anonymous official on our show stating that the NFL is shifting away from favoritism to a performance-only culture. Going to take a break here. We'll come back with more. We're hot today. It's On Point Live. Check us out on Instagram, on.point.live. Check our website out, onpointlive.net. Don't forget, check us out on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. We're going to take a break. Don't forget, harmonycheese.com, your best cheese. We're going to taste some on the show coming up here, so stay with us on Point Live. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us. Wow, On Point Live. Welcome back to the show. This show has been like a tennis match. The ball's whoever's got the ball ready to go. Oh, I got it. Hold on a second. I got Michael Horn along with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. He got a little hot there, a little heavy about officiating, so we thought we'd bring someone in to kind of cool things down. We got Jerry Haynes here. Jerry's the founder and the CEO of Harmony Cheese. This guy is a seasoned cheese expert. He's got 30 years experience in the dairy industry. Based in Wisconsin, Harmony Cheese is. They specialize in crafting and shipping a variety of great cheeses everywhere around the United States. Jerry's worked with many companies. He's knowledgeable in areas like the aging, the grading, the sales, the procurement of Harmony Cheese. That's their focus. They focus on shipping and Wisconsin-made cheese. The very best cheese comes from Wisconsin. So what we've done here is we've brought in, for our experts here, the two big cheeses of On Point Live are here. We're talking about Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. They have with them to taste the blueberry maple cheddar, the Merlot cheddar, and the bourbon cheddar. Jerry Haynes, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for making me be the in-between guy to settle those two guys down. I'm ready.
Hey, Jerry.
You're the referee,
before
Jerry.
We get started, wait a minute. Before we get started, Jerry, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jerry? This is Jackie.
Yes.
Would you please share with me where the heck did you get the idea of coming up with a blueberry maple cheese? I ate a piece of this with lunch.
I'm going to try it right now.
I'm telling you, this is the best piece of cheese that I ever had in my life. Where did this come from?
Well, it's a twofold to it. The first fold was we wanted to come up with something very colorful for the 4th of July in the USA, and we came up with this. And then we're like, okay, what goes with it? What colors go with what? And we just kind of, as a team, put that together, and we thought, oh, this would go good. You never know how these are going to work out. And but once we got it, and once we said, this turned out phenomenal. I mean, as far as cheese, we were quite surprised. I mean, we weren't surprised. I don't want that on record, but we knew we'd always make good cheese, but we didn't understand how great it would be. And
red, white, and blue.
It's
red. Blueberry is the blue.
It's got
the Merlot cheddar's the red.
We
got the other way, cheese, the bourbon cheese over there. Vince, your thoughts on this blueberry
it's
maple?
Also packaged. It says proudly Wisconsin cheese. And I know Jerry's been a long time cheese lover and a cheese producer. So, I mean, Jerry, this blueberry maple has sweet and savory at the same time, which is really, really interesting. And sometimes the cheeses goes one way or the other. This goes both ways.
Yes.
And it's long lasting too. It's just kind of sits there in the back of your taste buds, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you and your wine savant and all of that cheddar and shredding and all of that, and instead of just cutting you off a chunk of cheese and eating it like this is the word is delicious.
Okay, but Jackie, you know what my favorite one is though, really?
What's that?
This Merlot cheddar, white cheddar.
All right,
I tasted that.
Okay, this is so mellow.
This is better than the Abergele.
This
blueberry maple is better than Abergele to me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop for a second here. You're telling me your Abergele man, Jackie Slater, is now your favorite is blueberry Merlot cheddar?
No. The blueberry maple he likes.
I like the Abergele. I like the Abergele, but I like this better.
This is so mellow, Jerry. Jerry, how did you make this? Did you actually put Merlot wine in this cheese?
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, there's actually wine that goes right with the cheese. It's something that came up years ago, and when it turned out so you got to have the right wine, right, Vince? All the right ingredients, and you got to put all the right ingredients in, and you come up. But this one took a little time and effort to get there, but But now we pretty much mastered it pretty well. That we make a very consistent piece of cheese like this. One of my favorite cheeses is that, and and then you pair with wine, like your wine, and everything too. It's the flavor. It's subdued. It's not overpowering, right?
No, it's mellow. It's just so
mellow. Yeah,
just so balanced. But Jackie, let me tell you, when you put wine with food, my wife, who loves to cook, she has to get good white wine, and she actually puts it on this, on the burner, and it cooks off the alcohol, right? But it adds a flavor to the food, just like this Merlot wine with the cheese. It's the same kind of principle, I would think, and it really is. It's a really good blend.
Okay, well, let me just say this, Vince.
Hold on here a second. I got to blow the whistle here on the show. We got bourbon cheddar to taste, and Jackie Slater, who's been known to every once in a while have a little snifter of something. I need your thoughts on the bourbon cheddar.
Yes.
Please,
the
Jackie.
bourbon cheddar is kind of solid. It's kind of like bold to me. It's kind of like it's flavorful. But it's solid, like the kind of cheese I used to eat when I was a kid back in Mississippi. When you go into the store and they have these big blocks of cheese.
Were you drinking bourbon when you were a young kid?
No, I wasn't drinking no bourbon.
It's like bourbon.
But I mean, it just tastes like it's got a real strong taste to it.
Like it will chase
probably,
that.
To me,
you want a chaser?
I would have.
I can eat a lot of this cheese though.
I would have regular saltine crackers with that.
Yeah, but this cheese you can just keep eating.
Yeah, I know. Full. Regular saltine crackers.
Have you tried this one?
Yes, I tried that one, but I don't.
Actually,
I don't like it. I don't
too.
like it as well as this.
No,
Jackie,
that's because you like sweet stuff.
How about Jack Daniels, your friend, along with that bourbon cheddar? What do you think?
That would go good.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
I haven't thought about that.
No.
Michael's always trying to bring a little booze into the cheese tasting thing here.
Sorry.
Hey, the Super Tuscan wine would go great with this.
All right, how do we get the cheese, Jerry? Jerry, how do we get the cheese? That's what we want to know.
Oh, you just go online. It's harmonycheese.com, and you go ahead and you pick it out and just order it, and it gets sent right to you. It gets sent right to your house.
And you got lots of cheeses to choose from. Am I right?
That is correct. But now we're going to up our levels today with the blueberry,
blueberry
maple cheddar.
Blueberry maple, and then from there, Abrigelli.
Yeah.
Go.
All the cheeses are great, Jerry.
Jerry, we love you.
You're awesome.
We
got to come see you in Wisconsin here soon.
Hey, Jerry, I have one more question. Jerry, I have one more question.
One more question.
At your place where you're producing these cheeses, is it like a big mass production where you got 500 or 600 people working there? Or is it kind of like a ma and pa type company where you got maybe 100 employees max?
No, you guys are going to laugh at this. It's very small. It's I always think it's like the Keebler Elves a little bit, where we only got 5 people that make this cheese.
Five people.
That's all it takes. Yeah,
that's all it takes.
You need a lot of cows, though. A lot of cows.
5 people.
I'll tell you what it is. It's 2 guys. Here's what it looks like, Jackie. It's 2 guys in suits and ties smashing cheese in their mouth while they're doing their radio show. That's what it looks like. Jerry, we love you, Jerry Haynes. Thank you.
Hey, Jerry, good talking to you, buddy. Hope to see you soon.
Jerry. Thanks, man. I love this blueberry maple. It's delicious.
We got to come to training camp, Jerry.
We got to go to this cheese.
Yeah,
we're going to go see
that
it.
going.
5 people.
Hey, Vince played for the Green Bay Packers.
How does 5
I gotta
people
tell
make
you.
this?
Okay, well, pass the cheese over here to Corey and myself, please, because we have some cheese while you guys talk about the All-Star game.
Everybody got their own package. I got mine.
This
is mine. Vince has his. Your packages are back there someplace.
All-Star game, please. Let's go.
Oh, boy. The Dodgers got 5 guys playing in this All-Star game, the most of any team.
Yeah.
They've got Freddie Freeman.
And they don't have Mookie Betts.
And Mookie Betts. And, Mookie's like the star. But you got Ohtani, you got Freeman, Will Smith, who even Dave Roberts said at the beginning of the season, watch Will Smith this year. And he was right on because he's having a great season. Yamamoto, who's newly acquired for the Dodgers as a pitcher, and also Clayton Kershaw.
He had an off night the other night.
Yeah, he did. But he's a premier pitcher, and he deserves to be an All-Star.
Clayton got the nod, a special there after striking out 3 people in 6 innings and getting this 3,000 strikeout. That was pretty good. But the Dodgers have had some problems, gentlemen. They up as this when the show is being done here, they've lost a few in a row, and they're going to need this All-Star break to get it well.
Michael, before we move on talking about the Dodgers, the Dodger game when everybody was glued to their seats. waiting on Clayton Kershaw to break that record.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been worse the way the game was going for them. It was awful.
They were losing.
They were losing big time.
Yeah, but who won the game?
And then all of a sudden, my man from Orange County, California, down in Orange,
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman stepped up and saved the day. It just took all the suspense out of the afternoon, was
Jackie,
taken away right then and there, and it was just special.
You know, Michael, my grandson loves baseball, and he's a first baseman, he's a pitcher, and you know he's a pretty decent hitter. And when he gets up there, you know, I told him, I says, even the greatest players strike out. I mean, you know, you're not, and that's the thing about baseball is like you can have a bad game, you come back the next game and you bounce back. You know, people have slumps. They get in a slump. They may not get a hit for a week or so. Then they come out of the slump. And that's just the greatest thing about baseball.
Yeah.
It's a fun game to play. My grandson loves it. And I says, hey, you know, you got to just take it with a grain of salt. Move forward.
I don't know about the greatest players, but even I strike out sometimes.
Well, you know, I can appreciate the game. When I look at a baseball game and I see the individuals as they're in the dugout, as they're in the batter's box there, and they're waiting for their opportunity to go and bat, I see skilled individuals in their minds going through what their processes are. And to me, that is very, very impressive. I can't imagine, you know, me being in that situation with all the lights on me individually and me having to step up and based on my skill acquisition and what I know about the game and what I've learned about that particular pitcher, all of that has to come to the plate in order for me to be successful. And I'm just so impressed when I see some of these baseball players.
But see, Jack, you played 20 years in the NFL, and you know what work ethic is, and you put the time and the effort in, and you get it back, and you persevere. I mean, that's one of the great things about sports, and you have to continue to work at your craft,
right,
so it becomes second nature.
Right.
Same thing with batting. Same thing with pitching. You know, you do it over and over and over again until it just becomes second nature.
Mm.
And you have so many skills that most people out there don't know about offensive linemen. Some people call it a skill position. No, offensive lineman, it does require a skill.
Thank you,
a
Vinny.
lot of skill.
Thank you, Vinny.
You know, because I've seen you coach it, and I mean, it gets technical.
It does.
Gets real technical.
It really
and
does.
if you don't understand the technicalities of it, you're going to get beat.
You're going to get beat bad. You're going to be
And
bad.
Jackie.
Like a governor's mule.
Like a governor's, like you stole the governor's mule.
Oh, man.
And Jackie, I've watched you seriously. We talk about it here on the show with the commercial that runs and everything. You've worked with a lot of NFL players and helped them turn things around. So have you, Vince Ferragamo. I mean, that's the key. You love the game, number one, and you know you got to work at it. And I think if you impart that to kids and to people coming up in the league, that's the big deal because you're giving back to the industry. And you could be an official if you want to. Also, if you don't have any bias of any kind, you could do that. So you guys.
Hey, Michael, are you a tennis fan? You got to talk about Wimbledon.
Yeah, Wimbledon we can talk about here a little bit. I do watch it on occasion. I used to be at the tennis team in high school.
Oh, man, I'm telling you that Alcaraz. He's
something else.
He's a
special,
dynamo.
man.
He's
And
a
how about
dynamo.
Sinner winning that game against Dimitrov? Dimitrov had a pec pull, and he had he was getting cleaned out. He was getting wiped out, and he proceeds. But we're in round of 16. We'll see the quarterfinals soon, and then we'll see if Alcaraz can win back-to-back.
I was disappointed.
Grand Slam.
Coco Golf.
Coco
She
Gauff
just
got
fell
eliminated.
right out.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my goodness, that was disappointing.
After winning
Absolutely.
the French Open. Yeah, well, gotta
Check
keep
out our
coming back.
YouTube channel. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Our Instagram is on.point.live. Our website, onpointlive.net. We're here every week because of harmonycheese.com. And you can email us any questions, anything you hear on the show. Please send us an email, onpoint@crntalk.com. onpoint@crntalk.com. The show is run at crntalk.com. You can listen to it on radio stations around the country. Go to crntalk.com. Click on the faces of Vince and Jackie. Find out more about On Point Live. We're back with On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn along with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Before we leave, guys, and this show is flowing by today. What a great show. Lakers off season. What about this Luka Doncic? Is he like running the squad now that Jeannie Buss is out of there? What's going on?
Well, before that, it was LeBron James, you know, Jackie. I mean, LeBron was the man in charge, but I think right now Luka's the guy that they're building the whole team around, obviously, and you know, they're trying to decide they want to beef up. They got a big, tall player. Didn't they get a center that's going to come aboard?
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah,
who was the first
Ayton.
Overall pick a few years back.
So they're going to need somebody at the post.
He's a good big. There's no doubt about it. You know, the thing I look at here, it seems to be a changing of a guard.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a smooth transition because LeBron James has acknowledged already that Luka Doncic is now the shot caller.
But when he first came in, Jack, he says, "Hey, Luka's the quarterback. I'm the receiver."
Yeah, I know.
You
So he's acknowledged.
shots.
It's been an ongoing theme with him. He's
that's a great thing to observe.
And then a couple of other things that has happened, at least what I'm hearing, is that now the organization is starting to ask Luka, what about this guy? What about that guy? You like this? You like that? We think this. We think that.
You think that's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea because
wait.
He's going to be. I know he's not the owner of the team, but
Thank you.
You think they didn't ask LeBron James? You think they didn't ask Magic Johnson? You think they didn't ask Kobe?
No, Jerry West made all the calls.
You think they didn't ask
He made all the
Kobe?
shots.
Well, I know he was making the calls, but you think that
Magic,
those? If you
What
don't
about
think
you
those
guys?
guys were talked to about the
They would've
personnel that they were going to be playing
They
with?
never
Remember,
asked us. They never asked us
what
about
about
who we
you
want to
guys?
play with.
What difference does it make with us with 11 guys on the field?
Come on.
Yeah,
we
they only
should
have
talk
5
to you.
They
guys.
only have 5 guys
There's
they
only
got to
5
work
out
with.
there, Michael.
And the other thing about Luka that I like is that the guy has taken it. He's taken all of the criticism about him never being in shape and
Right.
unable to finish the
Exactly.
game to heart, and he's working on that. He's getting
Hey,
himself
Jackie.
in shape.
What happened to the general manager of the club?
Well, you
Well,
don't
he's
hear
still
much
there.
about the general manager.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a general manager worth his salt or sweat that doesn't confer with his top players about who they need to
Yeah,
bring on
that's-
board,
There you
what
go.
help
Good
he
point.
needs to make this team successful.
Check us out at the website onpointlive.net, Instagram on.pointlive. Email these guys. They'd love to hear from you.
But the Clippers
onpoint@crntalk.com.
giving James Harden a new contract.
On
with all the
point
money
at
they gave him.
crntalk.com. You can check that out. This show comes to you every week at this time on this radio station, and check us out on our YouTube channel. Always remember one thing we always say right here on the show. What is that, gentlemen?
What do we say, Jackie?
Stay
on
on
point.
point.